It is 1285, and King Angilbert of Aquitaine has unified, also with the help of the Holy Roman Emperor, the lands of Western France almost entirely under one banner. There's still the one holdout here, which is actually Crown Land, so we'll forgive that one. But there are a few internal wars going on here amongst the various vassals of the king. But overall, Angevin is looking at a large, powerful European kingdom that's a little bit under the protection of the Emperor. Hey everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel and more Crusader Kings 3 action here with the Angevin Plantagenets. Of course, King Angilbert, he is 55 years old. He is married to the young 22-year-old Freya Anbjörnsdotter, who did give him a child. So he has more children, but thanks to primogeniture, I am not overly concerned with that at this time. Last episode saw the unification wars of Aquitaine, and there are still some possibilities for addition. One being Savoy, and adding those lands to the crown. If we look here, Duke Arnaud's claims are for everything. The cost of the war right now, we are currently at peace with them with a truce, so we're not going to do that, but that would be a huge swath in France. And Flanders. Flanders is here. We've got Duke Duke Regnier's claims for Flanders, so we could add the Dutch provinces in the Low Countries here in Flanders to the Kingdom of Aquitaine. Beyond that, we are still looking here at Amiens. They are sitting right here. Burgundy, of course, is held by our son. Viennois, they are one that's sitting here where we can't really do anything with. Upper Burgundy. Here, Duke Rainer's claims for Upper Burgundy would work as well. Let's see real quick where all we can declare wars. We've got Hungary, Galicia, Castile, Tyrol, Bar. Upper Burgundy is one. Flanders we talked about. Pisa, Dubrovnik, and Istria. Those are ones that we could go to war over. We look down here, we've got Africa got formed. So, Emirate of Africa, kind of cool. The Maghreb is still sitting very strong here with a toehold left in Iberia. Sicily still holds their North African holdings. And of course, everything that's kind of completely fallen to pieces since the Mongol Empire fell to pieces. All across these lands. So it's a big free-for-all, border gore galore. I just saw that Poland actually has Iceland. So that's interesting. The Danes with lands here in Pomerania. And here's Duke Eudes of House Anjou. Holds Pomeranian lands in southern France and in Poland. So under the Danish crown. Now, what are we going to do here? We are going to look internally. So it's more about strengthening the realm on the inside. So we're going to take a look here at our knights and accolades. We have a few that are open where we need a successor. Just trying to see where we can actually appoint one that would make sense without having to recruit them or make them serve as knights. Be nice to at least find somebody. No, but our court physician is in very, very high demand. Let's actually take a look at our knights. Got a few really good ones here. And some not so good ones. Fortunately, we've got Jacques and Merloup that are the heads of these. Giraud as well, so not much else we can or will do there. We're Still waiting for our coffers to fill back up, and eventually we'll invest in more military as well. We have the money. Our maintenance right now is at minus 9.7, and we are making a lot of money. So let's take a look here internally. What are some of the things we could do? We could favor skilled outsiders, bring foreign talent to your court at the cost of scandalizing your vassals. Commission an artifact, find Iberian vulgar linguist. Search for a physician, we don't need that. Caravan master, wet nurse. Exoticize a grand hall. Not interested in that. Introduce a new fashion. Can develop the capital. And you gain diligent planning, and you gain stress because you are diligent. So diligent planning gives us developmental growth, so we will do that for 5 years. And that's about all we are going to do in that regard. Now, one thing Angevin has not done yet is, of course, hold court. We're going to look at our crown lands to see here what we can and possibly should invest in. We can expand here. Chateau. We can bump that up to a summer palace for 600. And what does that give us? Prestige growth, stress loss, scheme success, and significant boost to control growth. Our alliance with Astrid has expired. Now we can bump up our castle to a fortress. We do not have the right knowledge there just yet. Furthermore, our hamlets, bump that up to barns and storehouses. So we will upgrade that. And here, fishing net weavers, homesteads, we can go that up to meadows. So an upgrade there. Queen Freya is pregnant. Most excellent news. Heading back down to our Aragonese holdings here. What could we do here? We can expand our rampart walls to embrasures. Let me know down in the comments. So I think we will upgrade that. And that's taking care of all of our upgrades we can do right now. We've got so much money. I think what we will do here is we will buff up our military again. Light horsemen, I think we can add some more there. A scheme at court. Spymaster has come to me with grave news. Well, we do not know who. Someone is planning to kill my knight, Giraud. Scandal. Next, we're going to upgrade, or we're going to bump up our siege equipment. And we're going to bump up also our armored horsemen. So, now you can see we've really increased our cost. But overall, I'm not concerned with that. And with that, I think it is time to hold court. Angevin has not held court yet since he ascended to the throne. He's done a lot, including creating the Kingdom of Aquitaine, but he has not held court yet, so we shall do that now. Commencement. Sitting in my throne, on my throne, in fact. I gesture for my guards to open the doors of the hall. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out of the way so they can simply observe the proceedings. After several moments, all movement in the chamber has ceased. All faces turn towards mine expectantly. In front of me, I count 3 petitioners lined up in an orderly row, waiting for me to call on them. All right, come on in. Duke Ferran, my vessel, strides forward, clearly eager to hear my response to his petition. My liege, if House Barcelona is to defend itself and Aquitaine, Barcelona requires permission and support to strengthen its redoubts. Let us ensure the defense of the realm on your behalf, and thus both reap the benefits of peace. So Barcelona will be a bastion of the realm. So, feudal contract gains fortification rights granted. And he gains higher opinion. I hear you have a fine collection. No, not really. To take something from him. Such entitlements demand sacrifices in turn. No, you get County of Rossello. No, he's humble. That's not something he's interested in. Only if Barcelona's borders are never altered. So, fortification rights granted. Gains forced partition. He loses 5 opinion. No, not really interested in that one. In exchange for greater commitments, of course. Increases his feudal taxes to you. He's not greedy. No, it'll become a bastion of the realm. So, an indebted hook. My lord, I come from the religious community of Zuera in the county of Zaragoza. There, wise and pious men have been collecting and preserving the traditional knowledge of Andalusian culture for centuries. As a sign of our goodwill, I offer you the precious anthology of Andalusian texts translated into your own language. We hope you will accept it and gain a new perspective onto our people. Please stay and teach me more. So we gain 100. I graciously accept. So we get 75 prestige. Gain 6 court grandeur, and Yaish leaves the court. What does he look like? Good at learning. That's about it. Please stay and teach me more. Gain bilingual readings for 10 years. Rulers of Andalusian culture gain higher opinion. Yes, I think that would make a lot of sense. And finally, The Enemy Within, which, by the way, is a great campaign for all of you Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay fans out there. I loved running it, playing 4th edition right now in a sandbox campaign. So, I digress. Back to it. My brother, Prince Valorant, can barely contain his rage, erupting. Something must be done about that Occitan outsider. He gesticulates wildly. I have had quite enough of Duke Guy, and his ridiculous customs, treating foreigners like equals. Bah! It is time for your foreign subjects to adopt the mores of their betters. Our nobility must be Angevin. I don't think so. He's humble, so that's not really something he's overly pushy about. He's not like a fervent nationalist in that sense. There is much you could learn from other traditions. This, I think, fits. We will do that. So spent 150 prestige. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, having business to attend elsewhere. Others remain, talking amongst themselves about the recent proceedings. So the ceremonial formality of the proceedings has dropped away entirely, with the hum and bustle of normal courtly life taking its place. My business here is done. So we've got decisions here. Tour, no. Pay homage. No, he's not going to do that. Petition the liege. A grand tournament. That is something we've never done for very good reason, because yikes, look at that. Oof. Can host a university visit, a feast, a hunt, pilgrimage. No, none of that. We need a lot more money before we can do anything like that. So one thing I did a little oopsie with last time, of course. Learn diplomacy is the key ability for the Chancellor, not stewardship. That is, of course, for the steward. Duke Reina, instead of Henri Plantagenet, would be the significantly better Chancellor. So we will assign him to be our new Chancellor. Claim on man. For months, Francis, Duke Reina's bishop, has been digging up spurious contracts and fabricated histories. Now, Duke Reina dares act as if it all amounts to a legitimate claim on the County of Men. Lies and more lies. Didn't we just put him here in charge? Now, one other thing that was pointed out was the fact that our son is French and not Angevin. But if we look here where we sit right now, we've got the Angevin culture right here in central France. I mean, that's really where it sits. We've got Catalan, we've got Andalusian, we've got Aragonese. I think it is time to get back to actually expanding our culture. So with that in mind, we're going to promote the culture here in Troyes. We're still working on that as we speak, so I guess we shall keep that one going for now and not worry about that. But our son, we've got here Grant Vassal. Let's see. I have decided to make Count Julien of Sablé your vassal. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. And with that, that ugly little island here is gone. And the crown lands are now our lands. And, oh, look at that. We're going to ignore that little bit of vassal war here. But isn't that just beautiful? If we think about the border gore that was there not too terribly long ago, this just looks so much nicer. As almost got all of France. I mean, still this chunk right here, but Savoie. Can we declare war yet? No, we can't. When does our truce end? The last 5 more months. So in 5 months, Savoie could be ours. At least that's the direction we could currently go. If we look at our alliances here, we've got Aragon, we've got Aquitaine, or Burgundy. Then Galicia, the Infante at least, the King of England, Armagnac. These are all internal ones. So Navarra is an external one, and then obviously Nice and Savoie, or Savoy, are the ones where we have actively active truce, where we can't really act. Waiting for this to tick over a little bit. You know, it would be a shame to just let Flanders sit there and not do anything with it. Let's review some of these. We can ask our head of faith for gold. Yeah, let's get some more cash in the bank. Might as well. Ah, wonderful. Gotta love getting some more cash in the bank. So we've got the Hungarians that we can go to war with. Of Dietwind von Klingenberg. So he's got those claims right there. That's an interesting one. Go after northern Italy. I don't know if I want to go to war with Hungary over that. The Galicians. We have our own claims to all of Galicia. And declaring that war, yeah, would not be amazing. It would be a tight-fought war, to say the least. We're slightly more powerful than them. The Castilians, Duke Arnaud's claims, which, yeah, I'm not really interested in his. Tyrol, we can go for our uncle's claim and grab Tyrol, have some HRE lands, or some, well, they're not part of the HRE. They're actually outside of the HRE. Which, that would be interesting. Bar. So we could go to war there, but not really interested in that one. Emilia. So the Prince Bishopric of Ravenna. Also not really something I'm overly interested in. Upper Burgundy. That would be an interesting one to add. Because Burgundy is kind of part of our lands. Get Upper Burgundy. Add Savoy. And then Viennois is the only one left. And then, of course, we have Flanders. We have Pisa. We already talked about that. Then we've got some interesting odd ones out here. We've got Istria. So we could declare a holy war for the kingdom, which that would be an odd one. Just for the duchy, or just for the county. She has no allies. Oh, wow. Okay, that one we could do, and we could win that war really, really easily. Gotta push those forces out and get a toehold in northern Italy. That's an interesting one. Dubrovnik is another one where we could declare a holy war. They've got no cash. at all. And what else did we have? Vermandois. Julien's claims for the county of Vermandois. Not really something I am that interested in. Internal, so expanding within France is more interesting to me than expanding into northern Italy. I think that makes the most sense. And so I think, let's take a look at Flanders here. He's got, who's he allied with? He is allied with the Duke of Notgau. And that's really it. Count Alfric claim. He doesn't really like us. Count Walter or Duke Raina. Raina would be more important to us. He is more powerful, but he's a powerful vassal. I mean, we could run roughshod over them relatively easily. We can definitely outspend them. So taking Flanders and some of the riches of Flanders wouldn't be out of place. We look at Bruges here. I mean, the loot alone is 92. That's a good amount of income there to add to the Aquitanian coffers before we go after Savoy and Upper Burgundy. And I think I'd want to go after Savoy first before going after Upper Burgundy. So yeah, we are going to move our point where we're going to raise up here to Boulogne, to the North Shore, and then what we can do is bring in the English, and they're here in no time at all. Are they currently in any wars? None at all. So yeah, bringing in the English would be the power play. So we are going to declare war for Duke Raina, who of course is our vassal, and we would add that to our realm. So for 300 prestige, we will declare this war. And now we can call in some allies, and we're going to start with the King of England. 350, yes, because it's just right across here. As far as house members to call in from Helgoland, yes. Then the Prince of Burgundy, the Trembling, it's great. And Prince Setul, call him in as well. Dynasty members, do we need the Pomeranians? We don't really. Don't really need the Pomeranians. We have a daughter, Berengaire. Yes. Okay, a cousin is coming. Our troops are almost gathered. So we've got Count Dita coming in to pay homage, and serve me well, Count Dita. So now we will move our troops up here to bring them together. And God, they're just pulling out. So we will bring our troops together, our 13,000. And I think what we're going to do is march south to meet the Flanders army. They're moving over to Rouen. Can we get there in time to meet them in the field? Here come the Burgundians, and we will meet them in the field. And in fact, it is Duke Baudouin VII who is leading the army, so we might be able to capture him and end the war. The English have arrived. The Battle of Rouen is won. Did we capture him? We did not. But now we can move our troops up to Flanders and start the siege process. You can see all of our allies here. The English army is split up. They've got Notgau is coming in here, but I mean, this is a big carpet siege of Flanders lands now by us and our allies. Allied combatants have been slain. Schema Court, my spy master has come to me with grave news. Well, we do not know who. Someone is planning to kill my daughter, Aude. Okay, that is troubling indeed. Count Giraud de Ferrara was died at the Battle of Rouen. So victory there. They're going to get absolutely crushed in the field there. Another siege won. This Notgau army I am not worried about at all. And we have captured. Our son has captured the Duke. And we can enforce the demands. So be it. Disband our troops. And we didn't even have to destroy Bruges in the process. But with that, we have now added Flanders to Aquitaine. Upper Burgundy and Savoy are the next ones on that list, for sure. Not this year, not 1286. That will have to be pushed into 1287. I do not like to fight wars in winter. A poetic friendship. Angilbert, my dear friend, I was once again reminded of your victory against Duke Borel, so I decided to write a poem about your triumph. Etienne says, clearing his throat. The Axe's Song. A work of poetry dedicated to King Angelbert's victory over the vile Duke Borel, written by Angelbert's good friend, Etienne. Where other men speak silvered words, he does good business in ridding turds. So let none challenge his bold intent, unless to hereafter they wish to be sent to the hereafter. I shall put a display. Thank you, my friend. I will keep this poem close, but not display it for everyone to see. So we can transfer to Count Dita of Boulogne, to Duke Rainer of Gascony, Prince Guillaume of the Holy Roman Iron inherits. So Emperor Julien has declared war on Duke Renaud. So that is something. So we would lose land. Okay. It's good to know. We can transfer him. Yeah. We will grant him that vassal. It makes sense. He really, really likes us right now, so that's great. So we will negotiate that alliance with our son-in-law, and Count Jacques still will have nothing to do with it. And marvelous news, we now have an alliance with Guillaume. So we can change our Chancellor's contract, and I think what we'll do here is use a hook to just get normal levies. I'm most interested in that. Boiling anger. You might be a king, but you are an abhorrent fool. The unprovoked anger expressed by my courtier Gabic comes as a complete surprise. She has been under a lot of stress lately, but to behave like this, and even she struggles, calms me. Yes, it is calming when other people have mental breakdowns. So here is that war all the way up north here. Prince Geoffroy is not swayed. What is that war for? War for Duke Guy's claim on the Duchy of Lower Lorraine. Okay, so it's to expand the realm into, traditional HRE lands. I mean, the cool thing is here, if you look at it, Holy Roman Empire could really expand quickly and just gobble up all of these and really go and go from Poland, Central Italy, Hungary, all the way to Castile. So we have now a betrothed can marry. Gerard de Normandie and Esclamont de Bar. Okay, send that. That is done. And we have a new perk here. Soon forgiven monthly tyranny drops. Wonderful. So as you can see, we can declare... you cannot afford the cost of this word because of we don't have the prestige for it. Okay, well, we'll just wait. I'm not too concerned with that. Upper Burgundy. Duke Rainer's claims here. We could afford that war. Add those lands. Or, of course, we can, declare these wars here in northern Italy, which are just, honestly, I don't know why I would want to do that. I mean, there's no real reason for it. Adding Tyrol to it all, That wouldn't be bad, but 1,000. Yeah, no. Wanton desires. Lately, it feels like I am constantly being distracted by lascivious thoughts. Perhaps a new view of God would help me to convert to Nestorianism. No, I will sequester myself to avoid temptation, or I will bite my lip and remain focused. Now, what he can do, of course, is flagellate. That is something he has inherited. Stress, coping, agony, crack, crack, crack. So he's wounded, but loses some stress here. Oh, dying. You are at death's doorstep. So apparently got a little bit carried away. So the wound treatment. So the wound is gone. And that death's doorstep thing all of a sudden went away. Title can be created. Kingdom of France. You know what? This cost 300. We had 28 de jure counties. 400 prestige. This is something. So let's hit and pause here. You know, Aquitaine was historical. But for the Plantagenet Angevins to be crowned King of France, to have the Kingdom of France now, this would be huge. This is a goal that the Plantagenets had historically in real life and never quite got it. They were close a couple of times, but never truly did it. So I think for the sake of history, to create and become the King of France, and it gives us a de jure capital of County of Ile-de-France, it has to happen. It absolutely has to happen. So we will create that, and we will make it our primary title. And with that, we are now King Angilbert of France. Just like that. And France is back, my friends. France is back on the map. So under King Angilbert's reign, pop that down to speed 1 and unpause. So under King Angilbert's reign, he took the Kingdom of Aragon, expanded it, created the Kingdom of Aquitaine, which obviously fits historically. Saint-Toul has come of age. They grow up so fast. Natural affinity, careful planning. More than a little misdirection. He's average at best, but he is an intricate web weaver. That could be an interesting one. But he went from Kingdom of Aquitaine and now has been able to form the Kingdom of France once more. Count Julien's converted from French to Angevin. And with that, the Plantagenets are now kings of France. This is actually a huge deal, in my opinion. We look up here. Scotland is back, so Alba is gone. We've got Scotland. We've got Ireland. The Kingdom of Ireland, which is great to see. Kingdom of Scotland. Alba went away. King Sa, the Compassionate, Norwegian. And England and Wales. And then now the Kingdom of France is back on the map. That makes me really happy. I mean, the Kingdom of Aquitaine was very short-lived, but going to France from Aquitaine, it makes the most sense. And there you go. The Plantagenets are now kings of France. So what does that mean? That means we could probably declare a lot of de jure wars now. Yes, we can. We can do a de jure war for the Champagne, and another one for Amiens. So we can declare a war there. But wait. Emperor has decided to make Countess Eglantine of Vermandois your vassal. So there's a little bit of France there now. But we could go after Amiens and Champagne. Viennois, not so much. So that's not there yet. The Savoyes, these could... Oh, well, now we can seize our de jure lands. Or, of course, the Duke's claims, which the de jure lands are just these. The Duke Arnaud, so we could go for the duchy, no, but Duke Arnaud's claims expand here because this part of Savoy was not part of France. Upper Burgundy here, clearing a war there would still be for Duke Raina. So we could add Burgundy to France. Going after Champagne, and Amiens makes good sense. And we could do that. But we're going to unpause here and just wait because the Emperor has simply gifted us plenty. And I believe if we add Champagne, Amiens, if we do take Savoy, maybe Upper Burgundy. Okay, here we go. The Count Arnaud of Amiens is now our vassal. So we just have to play the waiting game a little bit. And then the Emperor may just grant us these vassals because they are de jure vassals. If he does that with Champagne, that would be fantastic. Bar, we can declare war here, but there's not really much of interest here. And now, Duke Raymond of Champagne is our vassal. We do have a dangerous faction. 4 members. Amiens, Eu, and more Evreux. We've got another vassal. Prince Hélier of France. Wow. And with that, we've just expanded. And our, okay, Hélier, who is our son, he has no spouse. So it is time to find a spouse for our 19-year-old son who has no children. This would be very, very important. Well, right at the top is someone that's very good. Smiechna Piast, so a Piast family member. She is intelligent, lustful, vengeful, and arrogant. She's 16 years old, in good health, very good intrigue. So the congenital traits then of beautiful and intelligent would be combined in this one. Yes, we could do a grand marriage, but why? We will send that proposal off to Poland. And eventually, we're looking at some unhappy people here internally. We'll look here. They want to lower crown authority. They want to drop it down to limited crown authority. Rulers can change between available partition succession laws. Our succession, of course, is still primogeniture. They want to lower crown authority. Or we go to war with them. Kingdom of Lithuania is growing here, northern Poland. Who all is part of this? We've got Count of Evreux, Podesta Manfredo of Spoleto, Count Humbert of Eu, and Count Arnaud of Amiens. So he brings 5,000 of his own forces total. Then Eu plays another 4,500. And another 3,000 from L'Aquila. And 1,800 from Evreux, from the Hautevils. But we could bring in allies to try to crush them. And I think that might be the way to go. And that's in 19 months. 19 months, you say. So we're going to wait when it comes to declaring the war here. Of course, this wouldn't cost anything, and we would win this war. Without a doubt. We would take that. And Upper Burgundy is also one I would love to do. Count Walter of House Flanders. You know, maybe not Raina himself, giving him more lands. But he does like us, and strengthening him would not be bad. We're going to wait here a little bit. So our son is going to marry. That's fantastic. So we now have a Duke Janko II the Bald within Poland. An alliance there, one that we probably will never call upon. So I am, one thing that obviously one has to think about in this situation now is, even though the Holy Roman Empire now has grown significantly, militarily very, very powerful with 37,000, internally, of course, the French now with 19,000 doesn't quite have the strength to go to war. But if we look here, if we look at an independence war, they can outspend us. He's got 12,000 in the treasury. Militarily, it is incredibly tight. Incredibly tight. But Angilbert is, well, he's sick, but he's humble. He's not really one to lust after the throne. So let's see what happens here. As I lay upon my bed, prostrated by my sickness and cursing my weak, failing body, I can barely make out the human figure approaching. Their slow steps and heavy silence are starting to scare me. They must guess my unease from the faint sounds leaving my mouth and the jerky movements of my hands, for their steps turn hurried, and soon a warm hand is holding my own, and a familiar face enters my field of view. Hush, Angilbert, it's just me, Etienne. Oh, how it pains me to see you like this. I wish I could do something, anything, to ease your discomfort. Please, stay with me. Caring friend for 2 years, so it's a medium boost to health. So our good friend Etienne. But again, getting back to, should we go after the throne, the emperor's seat? And I don't believe that. Independence faction would be the most likely to break free and really hurt the Holy Roman Empire significantly. But that's just not who Angilbert is, in my opinion. He's diligent, so he works hard, but he's humble, he's cynical. He's an architect, he's infirm, he's a traveler, he's 58 years old now. I just don't see him doing that. If we look at Elie is temperate, he's craven. So he doesn't enjoy being challenged or scared at all. He's compassionate. So he's, everything in moderation. So he also isn't one to go after the throne, per se. It's very singular focus. He is stewardship. I mean, he's going to bring in a lot of cash for the realm when he becomes King of France. But I don't see pushing for independence, at least not at this point, personally. I'd be curious to see what you think down in the comments. And I think this would be a good place to end today's episode. And kind of this discussion, what should Angilbert do? Now, in my opinion, his characteristics don't speak for a king. Now that he's King of France, he's gone from King of Aragon to King of Aquitaine to become King of France. Would really push for independence. He wouldn't want to become emperor. I think that's completely out of the question. He's humble. That's not really something he would want for himself. Independence, though, could be. But that is a war that would be super tight. Extremely tight. We'd have to invest heavily in our own military more. We've got the money to do it, so I'm not concerned about that. And, of course, make sure we have the alliances to back things up. Ideally, we zoom out here, try to get an alliance with the Hungarians or the Poles. Poland especially, because they could march in to the eastern flank of the Holy Roman Empire. We, of course, would be internal here fighting against him, and then the English would land from the north. Galicians, Navarrans would also come in here as well. So those are some of the plays to look at here moving forward. I'd be very curious to know your thoughts. Leave them down in the comments below. Until next time, I am Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.